Hi everyone and welcome back to CodeNodes. We are covering the loops in C++. Loops allow us to execute a block of code multiple times instead of doing it manually. There are three types of loops in C+: while loop, do while loop, and for loop. In our previous video, we have covered the while loop in detail. In today's video, we are going to cover do while loop. Now let's look at the syntax of the do while loop. It starts with do keyword, and after that inside these curly braces code goes which will be executed. After that the condition goes start with while, and inside the parenthesis goes the condition, and it ends with semicolon. Here is an example of the do while loop as per the syntax of this do while. Starts with the do keyword, inside the curly braces a line of code has been written, cout high. After that the condition is written while num is less than 10. So this block of the code will be executed first and then the condition will be checked. So what is the main difference between while loop and do while loop? The main difference between do while and while loop is that in do while the block of this code will be executed at least once and then the condition will be checked. However, in while loop the condition is checked first, and if the condition is met then the block of the code will be executed. Now let's look at the practical example of the do while loop where we can use do while loop. So do while loop is used for mostly user input validation. For example, let's take an example of the ATM. You go for a transaction, you insert the card and the machine asks you to enter the pin. If you enter the correct pin, it leads you to the transaction. Else if you enter the incorrect pin, it gives you certain number of attempts to re-enter the correct pin. In our case, if we see how it fits in the do while loop, is that it first of all, after inserting the card, while not checking the condition, it lets you to enter the pin first, and if the pin is correct, it leads you to the transaction. Else it give you another chance to enter the correct pin. So this is one of the most fit in example of the do while loop. Now let's move to the code editor and let me show you a piece of code. Now here I made the code editor. The first example we will be solving is to differentiate between do while and while loop. For that, let me take two variables int I and j and initialize both of them with the value I is equal to j is equal to 1. So if you are assigning the same value, then you can assign it like this: I is equal to j is equal to 1. Now let's first write the while loop code. While I is less than 5, cout I handle and I plus plus, and this time cout, and this time the next time we are going to do it for do while loop. Do while handle, and this time do cout j. In the do while we will be using j variable, handle and increase the j by 1, and after that we will use this while j is less than 5 and end it with semicolon. So this part is our while one. Now if I save this and if I compile it, g++ do while, let's specify the output name is out. Now it has been compiled. Now let's run this with out.exe. Now as you can see, in the while part it has printed up to 4, and in the do while it has also printed 1 2 3 4, because in both the I is less than 5, so it will be printing values up to 5. Now what happens if I initialize this I with a value which is greater than 5? Let me initialize it with 6. This time if I save it and if I again compile this and if I run this, now as you can see in the while part it has not printed anything because it checks the condition first and it fails, so it will not execute this block of the code. However, in the do while part, as you can see, it has printed 6. It has printed the value of j first, and then it goes to check the condition. Where the condition fails, so it exits the do while block. So the difference between do while and while is clear now, is the do while executes this block of the code at least once and then checks the condition. While in the while loop, it checks the condition first and then execute the block of the code. Now with this example, we understand the differentiate between do while and while loop. Let me take one more example, the example we discussed earlier, the ATM one. So let me create one more file, atm.cpp, and let's start with the basic flow. Include iostream, using namespace std, int main. Now to solve that example, we need two variables. One is int correct pin and the second one is enter pin. Let's initialize this correct pin with 1 2 3 4, and the enter pin we will take it as a user input. So let's start do and cout, enter the pin and just with semicolon and cin entered pin, and here we will write the condition while entered pin is not is equal to correct pin and semicolon here. While these are not equal, it will again execute this loop. If both of these meets, then we will write a code here, cout welcome to ATM, handle here. Now let me save this, and if I compile it with G++ and ATM, let's specify this output as F, and if I just give this F here, now it has asked me to enter the pin. If I enter 3 4, it has asked me to re-enter the pin. So it is not becoming clear. So to make it clear, I am just going to write here one more line of code. If we will again use this condition, entered pin is not is equal to correct pin, then cout write a message for user that wrong pin, try again. Let me break this. If I compile this again and run it, now if I give it this a pin of 2 3, now it has print a message wrong pin, try again. This time if I give it a 4 5, it will print this statement until unless you enter the correct pin. So if I this time I entered 1 2 3 4, so it has printed the message welcome to ATM. So this is the example of the do while loop. So if you find this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and do not forget to subscribe to CodeNodes and share this video. Thank you for watching.